I remember the way the room sounded more than anything else. Not loud. Not chaotic. Just full, forks against plates, my aunt laughing too hard at something small. My sister glowing in that careful way people do when they know the spotlight belongs to them. Easter had always been like that in our house. Structured warmth. Predictable. My son sat beside me, swinging his legs under the chair, more interested in the foil, wrapped chocolate eggs than anything the adults were saying. I kept one hand lightly on his shoulder, a habit I didn't think about anymore. Then my father stood up with his glass. It wasn't unusual, he liked announcements. Milestones, plans, anything that let him shape the room for a moment. "We've got something special," he said, already smiling toward my sister. My mother leaned in slightly, her hand resting near his, as if the two of them were presenting something polished together. "We're flying the whole family to Paris for your sister's wedding in June." There was a beat, just long enough for the words to land, and then the table burst open. Cheers, questions, immediate logistics. Someone clapped. My sister covered her mouth, eyes bright in a way that looked almost practiced. Paris. I smiled automatically. It was what you did in moments like that. You matched the energy before you examined it. I waited until the noise softened just enough. "What date is the ceremony?" It was a simple question. Practical. Necessary. My mother didn't even look surprised. She turned toward me slowly, the corner of her mouth lifting, not quite a smile. Something tighter. "You're not invited," she said, almost lightly. "You can stay home and watch your son." The sound disappeared, not gradually, completely. Even my son stopped moving for a second, though he didn't understand why. I felt every eye shift, then hesitate, then pretend not to be looking. There are moments when humiliation arrives loudly, crashing through you. This wasn't that, this was familiar. It slid into place too easily. Like something I'd already made room for years ago. I nodded once, like I was processing new information. Even though part of me had already started reaching backward, pulling up old dinners, old decisions, old quiet exclusions dressed up as practicality. It had always been small enough to excuse. Until it wasn't. I didn't speak right away. I picked up my glass, took a sip of water, set it back down carefully so it didn't make noise. Then I smiled, not the automatic one. A different kind. "Measure K," I said. My father shifted slightly in his chair, just enough to show he hadn't expected that. I looked at my sister, not accusing, not searching, just looking. "I assume you've already finalized the venue then." She hesitated. "Well, yeah. Mostly." "Why?" I nodded again, slower this time. "Because I'm the one who signed the contract." That landed differently. Not like a bomb. More like something heavy being set down in the middle of the table. My mother blinked, the expression on her face tightening in a way that didn't match the moment she thought she was controlling. "What are you talking about?" I kept my voice even. Calm in a way that didn't invite interruption. "You asked me to handle the venue booking 3 months ago," I said. "You said you didn't want to deal with international logistics." My father's hand moved slightly on the table, as if he was about to interject, but didn't. "I did it under my name," I continued. "My account, my liability." I paused, not for effect but because I wanted the next part to be clear. The agreement requires my presence on the day. Or a formal transfer, which hasn't been filed. My sister's expression shifted first. Not anger. Not yet. Just confusion trying to reorganize itself. "What does that mean?" "It means," I said gently, "that I'm not optional in that arrangement." No one spoke. The air didn't explode. It tightened. My mother leaned back slightly, her posture adjusting as if she needed a new angle on the situation. "You're being difficult," she said, but there was something thinner underneath it now. I shook my head. "I'm being accurate." That was the moment I noticed my son again. He had gone back to unwrapping his chocolate. The crisis of adults already dissolving into irrelevance for him. I placed my hand on his shoulder again, grounding myself there. "I wasn't planning to bring this up tonight," I said. "But since we're clarifying roles." I let the sentence end without finishing it. My father cleared his throat. "There's no need to make this complicated," he said. But his voice didn't carry the same authority it had a few minutes earlier. "We can sort out the paperwork." "Of course," I said. "That's always an option." I met his eyes, not challenging, just steady. There are also timelines. Penalties. The venue is strict about changes this close to the date. My sister finally leaned forward. Are you saying you won't transfer it? There it was, not anger, not accusation. Just the first real acknowledgement that I had a position in this that mattered. I considered the question longer than I needed to. I'm saying, I replied, that I need to decide what I'm comfortable being responsible for. My mother exhaled sharply. This is exactly why we didn't want. She stopped herself. Didn't want what? To rely on me. To include me. To be accountable to me. The sentence hung unfinished. I didn't help her finish it. I'll review the options this week, I said instead. And let you know what I'm able to do. Able, not obligated, just able. It was a small word. But it shifted something. No one argued after that. The dinner didn't recover. It continued, people picking up conversations that didn't quite fit anymore. Laughter that arrived half a second too late. My sister avoided looking directly at me. My father spoke less. My mother stayed composed. But her stillness felt deliberate now, not natural. When it ended, I helped my son into his jacket. He looked up at me, holding the last piece of chocolate. Are we going to Paris? He asked. I crouched down to his level. I don't know yet, I said. It was the most honest answer I had. On the drive home, the quiet felt different. Not heavy, clear. For years I had adjusted myself around moments like that, shrinking, smoothing. Making space for decisions that were already made without me. Tonight, nothing dramatic had happened. No one apologized. No one admitted anything. But something had shifted in a way that didn't need agreement to be real. They had expected me to absorb the decision. Instead, I had simply not. And in that space, small, controlled, undeniable, everything rearranged itself. Not loudly, but permanently.